Testing, testing. One, two, three, testing. Okay, it looks like we are good to go, gentlemen and ladies. Now, let's get started. We have a wonderful UFC event coming up to us in just a few days. We have Topuria, Oliveira, Pantoja, and Cara France headlining UFC 317 in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's going to be Astana, boys. Astana. Now let's take a look over here at our fight card. We might get some picks, some early predictions. We might not get all the picks. Might not get the final picks, but we're gonna chat about it. And if you guys are able to help me chat about it, that would be fantastic. Let's see if we get the second live chatter in the biz to come in here and give us the work. All right, let's take a look at the bottom. Let's go all the way down to the bottom. Nico Price versus Jacoby Smith. Now, Jacoby Smith, I have no idea who this dude is. Has he fought for the UFC? It looks like he did. Oh, he beat Preston Parsons at UFC Fight Night. What was that? Dern versus Hebos 2. No wonder I don't remember Jacoby Smith, but he got a left hook knockout of Preston Parsons. That kind of does ring a bell. Maybe we'll do a little bit of some background check on that. Got ground and pound, punches, punches. Looks like he has a good amount of finishes. Oh my goodness. 8 wins by finish, 2 by decision. Look at the competition. He's beaten 12 and 11. Okay. 7 and 5. Okay. 13 and 9. All right. Christian Savoy was 10-1 and 1. Still got him out of there. Preston Parsons 11 and 5. So it looks like without even doing any research on this guy, it looks like he's going to beat Nico Price. Nico Price, if you recall, gave Mr. Robbie Lawler the most wonderful retirement fight in the history of the USA. What a wonderful man he is. So hopefully he'll get one over on Jacoby Smith. He will let Jacoby Smith knock him out. What a wonderful man Nico Price is. Let's just take a quick look at his record. Of course, I've seen Nico Price fight. 63% of the wins came by KO, TKO, and 63% of his losses by the same way. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Now, if we go down here, oh my gosh, that is a lot of red. Oh my gosh. This dude has not seen a win streak since 2018. Oh my gosh. He did beat Randy Brown. That's pretty neat to see, but that was a long time ago, almost 10 years back at this point. Oh, he went on a 9 fight unbeaten streak up until 2017 from 2012 to 2017. And then he got, oh, wait, maybe he lost Alex Morono. Overturned a no contest. What was that for? Ah, Nico Price and the old Ganche. The old Ganche. Let's take a look here. So yeah, he would have had a 10 fight winning streak for 5 years if it was not for the Ganche, el Ganche, la Ganche, la Hierba de la Paz. After that, he got darsed by Vicente Luque. You can't really shake a stick at that. That's okay. Everybody gets darsed by Vicente Luque unless your name is Kevin Holland and it's the year 2025. Abdul Razak Al Hassan started the punch KO streak. Oh my goodness, he rematched Vicente Luque. This is crazy. doing the deep dives on these kind of guys. So he lost to Vicente Luque Darce. They must have had a good fight for Nico to get a rematch. Yeah, it even was a canceled bout prior to that. Very interesting. So it must have been a good fight. I don't remember hardly any of these fights. Nico Price is not my dude. I don't have his fight catalog stored in the front of my memory. He beat James Vick by upkick. Very interesting. Donald Cerrone overturned a no contest. Marijuana again. Original result was a draw. Oh my gosh. The marijuans was really getting to Nico Price there. Two losses to Vicente Luque, eye injury, so he must have got battered there. We're just doing a little research here. It's an interesting deep dive. And then he lost to Robbie Lawler. That was a grappling match against Pat Sabatini, and he still got finished. Tembo Garimbo recently beat him at UFC Fight Night Royval versus Tyra. Okay, interesting. That's the one where Royval got a split decision over Tatsuda Taira. So last man that Nico Price beat was Alex Morono at UFC 302 Makhachev versus Poirier. And that's not the worst win in the world, but Morono, Nico Price, what was his name? Santiago Ponzinibbio, they're all kind of in that same category of being in a lot of wars, getting washed on the way out. And this Jacoby Smith dude looks like he hits like a truck. How old is this dude? He must be quite young. Oh, yes. Okay. 96 boy. Very good. And Nico Price is probably 87, 1987. Next up, we got some heavyweights. Alvin Hines versus Janata Denise. Now, I've seen Janata Denise fight. Very interesting name. Of course, you remember that kind of a name. 88% of wins by TKO. He lost one to Marcin Tybura, doctor stoppage, but prior to that, he was undefeated. Let's check out Mr. Alvin Hines real quick. Now, this guy is making his UFC debut, but he is undefeated currently, and he is 100%. No, 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 not even close. 43% wins by KO TKO, 43% of the wins by submission, and he's got one decision thrown in there just to boot. But look at his competition: 4-1, 2-0, 3-4, 2-1, 3-0, 1-3. Oh my gosh, that is not good competition. Now, Janata Denise, he faced Marcin Tybura, who has had a lot of fights, 25-9. But he's beaten some good guys. Carl Williams, Austin Lane. I don't know if that's a good guy, but he's definitely seen guys with more competition. I'll have to do some more research on these. Again, we're just doing some preliminary research. We're not doing official picks quite yet. Let me see if we can corral somebody into the chat. Wouldn't that be a wonderful, fantastic time? What up, my people? Now let's check this out right here. Up next, we got a middleweight contest between Cedric Dumas and Jackson McVeigh. Now, we've all seen Cedric Dumas fight, and we all know the allegations against this dude. Got quite a few decisions, got a good amount of KOs. He hasn't lost by decision, so he must be fairly exciting apart from winning by decision. Let's check out his losses. Mikhail Alexeychik, he's a good fighter. He beat Mr. Roundtree Jr. Nursultan Rizabov, he's a good fighter too. Josh Fround, no, that's a real fight. Interesting. Went on a pretty good streak there. And he beat the likes of Cody Brundage, Abu Azaitar and Dennis Tiululin. Now Jackson McVeigh is 6-0. I think he's making his UFC debut. Yep, a lot of LFA guys coming onto this card for 12-12. All finishes 50% KO TKO, 50% submission. We got a little baby Shavkat Rakhmonov here, you guys. Isn't that sweet? Little baby Rakhmonov. So he's 6'4". That's pretty tall for the division, but Cedric is pretty tall too. 6'2", with a 79-inch reach advantage. 77-inch reach advantage. Okay, very interesting. Cedric's got those long, lanky arms. But looks at the guys that he's beaten. Look at their records real quick. 4-1, 3-2, 7-13, 1-1, 2-5, 5-5. Not that great. Not that great. Look at the level of competition that Cedric Dumas faced. A lot better. I'll have to do some more fight research, little fight recap, break down their styles and see how they mesh. Now this one, I know more about these guys. Finally, we get to a pretty good fight in the lightweight division. Terrence McKinney versus Vyacheslav Borishev. Vyacheslav Borishev. Borishev is a fun fighter. How old is he? He's been in some good fights. He was a Russian national kickboxing champion or something like that. See right here, 1992. Okay, so he's getting up there in age. Not that old though. What, 33? Terrence McKinney is younger than that, I believe, by maybe 3 years or something, 2 years. Terrence McKinney's got to be maybe around 30 by now. I don't know exactly, but he's my hometown boy. Now take a look here. He beat Mahashate. He got a majority decision draw versus Nazim Sadikov. That was a war. Lost to Chase Hooper. Now Chase Hooper is another Washington boy, so we'll give him that. He's a good little kid. William Starks split decision. Okay. So look at these: left hook, liver shot, punches, ground and pound, punches, right hook to ground strikes, war, Doris choke, decision, decision. This one's not going to decision. Has Terrence McKinney ever got to a decision in his career? I really doubt it. No decisions, no decision wins, no decision losses. This guy is the man. He has lost to a lot of dudes as of recently. Esteban Ribovic, I remember that. It's good stuff, good stuff. He faced a Damir Hadzovic. But you look down here at the kind of guys he's faced. He beats the likes of Damir Hadzovic. He loses to the guys of Esteban Ribovic, Nazim Sadikov, Ishmael Bonfim, Drew Dober. Now these guys are top 25 lightweights. These are good dudes. He beat Ferocity M. He's beaten Matt Frivola. So you can't really shake a stick at a lot of those. Derek Minner on the Derek Minner on the regionals, Sean Woodson on the contender series. Yep. So that's a knockout loss. That's a knockout loss. That's a knockout loss. Submission, but he got hurt. That's a knockout loss. So what's that? 4 knockout losses, brutal knockout losses. You can't really trust Terrence McKinney, but he comes out there absolutely destroying fools. And if they don't get destroyed within the first few minutes, then he's going to gas out and he is going to find a way out of there. He's going to gracefully allow them to knock him out. Now, if you look here, Vyacheslav Borshev has 0 submission wins. A lot of KO TKO wins, but he's kind of small for the division, right? He's only 5'7", 5'11". No, he's not 5'11". Really? He's 5'11"? For some reason, I picture him much shorter in my head. What's McKinney? He's 5'11" too? 5'10"? McKinney's going to be the shorter guy in there. For some reason, I picture Vyacheslav Borshev as shorter. Maybe he's that tall, though. Not sure. Anyways, 75% of wins coming by KO TKO, and we all know about Vyacheslav Borshev by now. He's lost to the likes of Chase Hooper, Tom Nolan, Mike Davis, Mark Diakiese. Similar to the, actually, I wouldn't say similar. I think these losses are somewhat worse, but that doesn't really mean anything. We just saw Roundtree Jr., who had lost to five not so great competitors, and Alex Pereira. And then he goes and beats Hill, although Hill had a terrible injury. This one's hard to pick. I am probably going to say that Vyacheslav Borshev. Vyacheslav Borshev has never lost by KO or TKO in his MMA career. That's scary. That's really scary. Man, I want to pick McKinney. I think McKinney could get it done in the first minute. If I was betting, I would definitely bet an under. I'm going to say, oh man, how old is McKinney? This guy's what, 33? McKinney's 30. Man, I don't want to pick Vyacheslav Borshev, but I'm gonna have to, huh? I'm picking Terrence McKinney to give Vyacheslav Borshev his first KO loss in his MMA career. He is the glass cannon, but the cannon half is gonna shine on this Saturday night. Oh my gosh. Now, Tracy Cortez versus Viviana Rajo. We'll do a quick little check of this. Tracy Cortez, just saw her on the Rampage Jackson podcast. A lot of decisions. Lost to Rose Namajunas. That's not a bad loss. Lost in Invicta in 2017, almost 10 years ago. She's beaten Justine Kish. She's beaten Jasmine Jasdavicius. Again, you guys, we're not doing fight analysis. We're doing just preliminary analysis. What was the height on this girl again? Tracy Cortez, 5'5". Oh my gosh. 5'4". A little bit taller. 38 years old for Viviana Araujo. 31 for Tracy Cortez. Oh my gosh. Let's take a look at who she lost to. Natalia Silva, okay. Alexa Grasso, okay. Amanda Hebas, okay. Caitlin Sermonara. Jessica I, Sarah Froda. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tracy Cortez on that one. She's probably a big favorite too. I don't even want to look at the odds yet. Now, next up, Hyder Emil, fighting like it's 1999. Just a fun dude. Goes in there, pushes the dude up against the fence, wings, left hooks until he gets them out. That's how you do it. Fight like it's still UFC 35. Jose Delgado. Now, let's check Delgado out. He's had one UFC win. He fought Connor Matthews in the Cannonier Rodriguez bout. Okay, okay. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, okay. Now let's take a look. Okay, pretty even. 4 wins by submission, 5 wins by KO TKO, one decision loss. That was to Chris McCate at UFL 1 2 years back. And that was against a 5-1 guy when he was just 3-0. So it's okay. Connor Matthews was 7-2. Who's Connor Matthews again? Let me see this face. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no wonder I didn't recognize this guy. Man, is the competition in the UFC just going down and down and down like that? So Hunter Mill looks like he's gonna get another victory over. Oh wait, no, 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 that was Connor Matthews. That was Connor Matthews. Not great competition though. But he beat Ernie Juarez 8-0, dude. Gave him his first loss, eh? But then he lost to Eric Sanchez. Okay, okay. It's making sense now. It's all coming together. It's all coming together. Whereas Hyder Emil, oh, let me go back to him. He's beaten everybody he's faced so far 14-2, 11-1, 10-4, 14-4, 11-5, 9-6, 3-1. Okay, so he's faced competition with experience. He has a really good team behind him, and Jose Delgado, Jose, sorry, fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona with the MMA Lab. Okay, so he's one of Welch's boys. Memento Mori. Okay, okay. I see that tattoo you got there, buddy. I see it. One UFC win, one FLA win, one Contender Series win. Probably gonna pick Hyder Emil. I like his fight style. He's buck wild in there. He's got a big old neck on him. Look at the neck difference. This dude, his neck just goes straight from his ears to his shoulders. This dude, his neck is skinnier. So that's what I'm picking based on the necks. Neck girth gives 100% accuracy on your picks. Jack Hermanson versus Gregory Rodriguez. You gotta think Gregory Rodriguez is the favorite here. I don't even want to look at odds. I don't even want to look at odds. I want to pick not based on the odds. I want to pick based on what I think. And remember, we're doing preliminary predictions. This is just research. This is preliminary prediction research. We're not officially picking yet. This is my research. So Gregory Rodriguez, 16-6, Jack Hermanson, 24-8. I don't even want to look at the odds, but you gotta think Gregory Rodriguez is the favorite. You'd have to think that, right? Of course he lost to Jared Cannonier. That's fine. That's fine. Bruno Ferreira, sorry, Armin Petrosian, split decision with Armin. Jordan Williams on the Contender Series. Hanato Hangal, Bruno Lopez. Those are his losses. Such an exciting fighter. 56% of his wins by KO TKO. 67% of his wins, or I'm sorry, 67% of his losses by KO or TKO. One of them was his last fight. He did take a lot of damage, and he always takes a lot of damage in every fight that he has, pretty much. But that's why we love him. He's my guy. He's my guy. I'm probably gonna have to ride with him. What is Jack Manson coming off of? Who did he face after he beat Bo Nickel? He beat Joe Piper. I'm sorry, not Bo Nickel. Joe Piper. That was his last fight. That was over a year ago. That was like a year and a half ago almost. 1988. He's 37, which doesn't make it the end of the world. But Gregory Rodriguez, he's 33. He looks 37. Man, you gotta think that RoboCop's gonna get it done. He's gotta be the favorite. I'm not gonna look at the odds though. I'm gonna go with Gregory Rodriguez on that one. I don't see Jack popping him with a jab and keeping him off him like he did with Joe Pyfer. I don't see Hermanson subbing him. He could. I don't see it. I think Jack's getting old. He pulled that cat out of the bag with the Joe Pyfer win. I don't know. Now, this is the one I think people are most interested about outside of the main event. Peyton Talbot versus Felipe Lima. Felipe Lima, how do they say it in Portuguese? Português. Felipe, Felipe Lima. Now that sounds too Italian. Felipe Lima. I kind of don't do the last sounds, right? Felipe Lima. I don't know. Maybe it's Felipe Lima. Anyways, both dudes have a loss. Felipe Lima has he has 50% more experience than Peyton Talbot. He's got 15 fights, and they're opposites. Ooh, I like that name. Tião Calisto. So he lost his first fight by submission, went on a 13 fight unbeaten streak. Since then, 13 fight win streak rather. Peyton Talbot went on a 9 fight win streak. Or no, I'm sorry. Yeah, 9 fight win streak. And then he lost his most recent outing. Now, I just did a little bit of tape study for Felipe Lima. I watched his last fight. Felipe Lima, let's break him down real quick. What can I recall off the top of my head? It's late here. It's 9:30 something. So Felipe Lima has a lot of power. He's very fast. He does a lot of flashy maneuvers. I saw him do a crescent kick against Miles Johns. Whenever I see a crescent kick, it makes me worried. Why would you do a crescent kick? What's the point? How many crescent kick knockouts have we had in UFC? Zero. I don't even know that for a fact. I'm saying zero based on my lack of knowledge. We have not had a crescent kick in the UFC. Why on earth would you do a crescent kick? You know what I'm saying? That scares me. Does spinning back elbow, spinning back fist. Those are great. Spinning heel kicks. Great. A lot of oblique kicks. Good. Crescent kick. Come on. He ducks his head a lot. Miles John started to read it, started to try to get him with the uppercut. He wasn't able to. Felipe Lima has been looking very good his last fights. He has a lot of decisions, but he's a brutal striker, a lot of power, very quick. Little too flashy for me. A little bit too flashy. Now I already know the odds on this from people talking about it. They're saying Talbot is an underdog, slight underdog. A lot of people picking Lima too. I'm gonna have to do some more tape study on Mr. Talbot. I've seen him fight, of course, but he's a finisher. He's got a decision. He's got a submission. He's got 7 KO TKOs. Hasn't lost by KO or TKO. Now, Mr. What's his face? Felipe Lima lost one submission whenever he first started. So that's not a big deal either. But he's got a lot of decisions. But it's Johnny Barcelos, Brazilian wrestling state champion, or not state champion, national champion. Miles John's 15-2, yeah, okay, but he's not Johnny Barcelos. Muhammad Naimov, yeah, he's had 2 UFC fights. Jonas Magard, Jonas Magard, Evgeny Odnorog. This sounds like a backwards name. 8-7. Mr. Cage 39. What are these regional promotions? Yeah. Miles John's not the worst fighter in the world. Naimov, not the worst fighter in the world. What was Miles John's record going into that? Yeah, Miles John's not a puncher. I could have to do more tape study. I almost want to pick the dog in Peyton Talbot because Felipe Lima, a little bit too flashy for me. And again, he ducks a lot. Does Talbot have any like flying knee KOs, uppercuts, right cross, straight left, or naked? Flying knee. I'll have to watch that one. KO to KO, 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 KO. A lot of them don't say. I don't want to watch all of his fights. That's too much. But might be picking Talbot. Felipe looks amazing. A little bit flashy, but he has the experience. I don't think Felipe Lima is going to wrestle him, though. His wrestling didn't look that great. All right, I got to wrap this up quick. I hear my daughter. Benil Dariush versus Hinata Mukano. I don't even have to break that down. Everybody knows both of these guys like the back of their hand. They're both the same age, which is surprising. Benil has the most gray hair in the UFC. And again, I'm just saying that based on what I think. I have no knowledge of that. I didn't count the hairs of every man in the UFC. I think Benil Dariush has the most gray hair in the UFC. And at lightweight, that's scary. Hanato Moicano lost to Islam. Other than that, he hasn't lost in a minute, right? Yeah, he hasn't lost since Dos Anjos, Fiziev a while back. But Neil's been on a losing streak, right? Didn't he get a win? Did he get a win recently? No, yeah, he's been on a two-fight losing streak. He did beat Gamrot. Besides that, though, I don't know. I'm gonna have to pick, sadly, my boy Moicano. Not that it's that sad. Moicano's great, but Neil Dariush is great. After that, we have Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. That's higher on the card. That's crazy. Joshua Van, great guy, great striker. He just fought like 3 weeks ago. He's coming back in, taking the biggest step up in competition in his career. I don't like that. If he gets the win, that's epic. I'm gonna have to go with Royval though. Again, we don't really have to break these guys down. Joshua Van's been hot. Everybody knows his stuff. Brandon Royval's been in that flyweight division at the top for a minute. And it's not that Brandon can't lose, but it's just the odds are stacked against Van. And I think Van was the favorite for a minute. I think some money came in on Royval, though. I don't want to check the odds right now. After that, Pantoja versus Cara France. Again, we've all seen Pantoja. Dude relies on his chin a bit too much, although he's an excellent fighter, excellent grappler, really good striker. He's just well rounded everywhere. He's beaten everybody in the division thrice. And again, this is a rematch. When did he beat Cara France? Ultimate Fighter season 24, yeah. So that's exhibition. It doesn't really count. And it was literally 9 years ago. So long ago. Look at that streak, though. Askar Askarov was the last man to decision went over him. That's crazy. If he didn't lose to that dude, that a crazy, he would have had a crazy streak going on. And Davison Figueiredo. He hasn't lost by KO TKO. That's crazy. Man, I gotta go Kaikara France. And that's just sad to say. I love Pantoja. I love everything he stands for. But one day that wall is going to tumble over. One day that building is going to collapse. And I see it happening. And hopefully I'm wrong. I love Kaikara France too. I love Pantoja more. I just think it's time to pass the torch. If he doesn't pass the torch now, he's got to start thinking about retirement. He's already like the second best flyweight of all time. Very interesting. Again, these are just preliminary picks, research for predictions. And last but not least, Ilia Topuria, unbeaten in the UFC versus Charles do Bronx Oliveira. 35-10, 45 fights. He's got nearly 3 times the amount of experience that Ilia Topuria has. And the cool thing to say is Charles is going to beat Ilia. When was the last time we saw Charles face a short boxer for a title? It was Michael Chandler. He beat him. Did he get hurt? Yes. Does Ilya punch harder than Michael Chandler? Yes. Was that fight 4 years ago? Yes. How many fights has Charles won since then? One of them? Yeah. He beat an old Benil in Canada. Man, those were the days. Look at that. Back when he got the Kevin Lee win, he got the Tony Ferguson win, and then he went on the streak of a lifetime, beating Michael Chandler for the title, Dustin Poirier to defend, lost his belt, but still beat Gaethje. How does that make sense? He lost his belt due to a tiny weight miss. A lot of people were saying it was a scale problem. Who knows? Who cares? He is the man. That was one of the most exciting title runs in the entire history of the UFC. I'm going to say there. When Charles Oliveira was whipping up on people, that was some of the best theater ever. When he beat Michael Chandler, I was screaming at the top of my lungs. When he beat Dustin Poirier, I was shook. When he beat Gaethje, I was super shook. That was a first round submission. Then he went in against Islam. It looked to me like the confidence just wasn't there for that one. He didn't fight like he usually did. Maybe it was Islam. They definitely could have been Islam that was just the better fighter that night, and Islam is the better fighter, but he didn't look to me like he had the confidence of the Du Bronx of old. Looked like the whole Khabib aura got to him, in my opinion. Then he goes out. He beats Benny Dariush. Not the best win, but a good fighter, really good fighter. Back then, everybody was saying Benny Dariush was going to give Islam Makhachev the business, and if he beat Oliveira, he would have gotten a title shot after that. But he lost to Oliveira brutally in the first round. Then the Armas Sarukian fight. Arman won the first 2 rounds. Oliveira nearly had him out of there in the third round. Really good fight. Even in the loss, he looked good. He destroyed Michael Chandler, but then the rules got switched. He beat Michael Chandler for 4 rounds, then Michael Chandler took his back, hammer fist to the back of his head like a million times. Man, do I think Ilya is the better wrestler between him and Michael Chandler? Maybe not. Do I think he's the better grappler? I would say so. I think Ilya is a better grappler than Michael Chandler, maybe not a better straight wrestler. Do I think Oliveira could pose problems on the ground for Ilya? Of course. You'd have to be stupid to not think that there is some sort of ground threat. Is there a striking threat? Now, this is where it's interesting because I think most of this fight plays out on the feet. We just saw Ilya face a tall, rangy striker in Max Holloway. Max Holloway was looking vicious, like he had intent to kill. He was going for oblique kicks left and right. He was throwing teeps. I remember the obliques for certain because those were scaring me. I don't see a world where the flying jump teep from Charles Oliveira is going to get to Mr. Ilia Topuria. Remember when Oliveira was on that streak? He would just high guard, run to jump teep, and then he would submit Chandler, Poirier, Gaethje. So do I go with the cool pick of picking Charles Oliveira? Man, I don't think I can. Illy's got way more power than Michael Chandler. Maybe not way more, but he's got, I'd say, more power than Chandler, and his punching is way more accurate. His boxing defense is great. Could Oliveira head kick him? Maybe. How many head kicks has Charles Oliveira gotten in his career? It wouldn't say on Tapology, but did he head kick Chandler in their fight? Chandler's a short, stocky guy like Topuria. I don't think he did off the top of my head. I'm gonna have to do more fight analysis and breakdown of that. I'm not going with the cool pick of Oliveira. I don't think I can pick against Ilia Topuria. I remember when this guy had his first couple fights in the UFC, and I knew this guy was destined to be a very good fighter. I did not know he would be this amazing of a fighter. I think he beats the guy with three times the experience. I could see him getting a sub over Oliveira. Hurts him. Maybe he gets the ground and pound. Maybe he gets a sub. Maybe he gets a clean KO. I don't think Oliveira has the chin of a Josh Emmett, and we've seen Oliveira, when push comes to shove, he finds a way out of there, which is just sad. It's breaking my heart to say this. I'm gonna have to say Topuria by finish. Maybe Oliveira poses a few more problems than the other fights that he's had. Maybe it takes it to round three. Maybe Ilya drops him round three, gets a ground and pound finish. Again, none of these are official. I'll be doing an official prediction video later on in the week. Today is Monday over here. I'll be doing an official prediction maybe in the next couple of days. Man, that just made me sad to pick against Oliveira. Two fantastic guys, two fantastic fighters. That's just sad. Why is it like this? What's going on with this? I don't know what's happening. I don't know why my window looks like this. Anyways, it doesn't even matter. I should be excited. Ilia Topuria is also my guy. Just everybody in the top of the lightweight division is my guy. I loved Khabib. I remember his last fight, watching it at Buffalo Wild Wings. Oh, man. Lightweight just makes me sad. Islam, even though I loved Habib, Islam is. I loved Islam at the beginning of his title run. I'm kind of rooting against him these days. Man, that was depressing. I'm gonna have to end this. Nobody's even in the chat. Who cares though? I got some official, unofficial, preliminary research done. I'll do more fight breakdowns by myself. I'm not going to show fights on the YouTube, and that's going to take way too long. You guys would not be able to sit through that. I can't even do that here. I'm going to watch it on my phone, break it down. Yeah. So real quick, you're going to watch a little Jacoby Smith maybe. Probably won't go too deep on the heavyweights. Maybe watch a little Jackson McVeigh. And Jose Delgado. Or Jose, sorry. Yeah. I'll have to do a little Peyton Talbot research as well. I'll do some research for some of these guys. Hopefully everything is a-okay in the next one and it's not super depressing. Why did I end it on such a depressing note? Man, that's it. We'll do official predictions later. That's UFC 317, little research analysis. You guys do take care. And I'll see you on the next one. And hopefully everything is going to be a whole lot happier. We got to get excited. This is a great card. Not the most stacked card from top to bottom, but you're getting a Pantoja title defense. You're getting Kaikar France in a title bout. We're getting Oliveira back in a title bout, and it's not against Islam Makhachev. And we're getting a Topuria title bout. Absolutely fantastic. We're getting Terrence McKinney. We're getting Hanato Moicano and Benny Dariush. We're getting Brandon Morval and Joshua Van. We're getting Talbot and Felipe Lima. We're getting Gregory Rodriguez. Like that, those fights right there. Maybe not Hermanson is not the most exciting fighter. We're getting Hyder Emil. Come on. You got to be hyped for at least 7 of these fights. So get hyped, get excited. We'll be back. We'll break it down even more, and I'll give my official predictions to post on YouTube. You guys